Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, welcome to the Daily Social Distancing Show.
Nice to talk to you.
You are one of the greatest legends known across sports, but for many people, your legendary status as a social justice activist is almost eclipsing that of you as an NBA player. I'd love to know, before we even get into this conversation about this amazing documentary that you're executive producing and the journey that you've been on, why put all that effort in? I mean, surely retirement is more appealing than still fighting for everything that's going wrong in the world.
Well, you can't feel good about being retired. I achieved enough to retire comfortably, but when you see other people struggling for no good reason, all the things that are happening now were things that happened since I've been a child. You realize that the struggle continues, and we have to keep our commitment always. We're always trying to upgrade our commitment because
Right.
What it says that the price of liberty is eternal vigilance, and we can't go to sleep.
Yeah, you've been someone who's always been outspoken, whether it's writing op-eds, whether it's getting involved in actual movements on the ground. You're here today to talk about a new documentary that's going to be on the History Channel, Fight the Power, premiering next Saturday, June 19th, aka Juneteenth. It's a really evocative title that talks about many different people's fights for equality in America. So tell me how you came to the project and why you decided to lend not just your name, but your voice to the documentary.
Well, it's important for all of us to understand that when any one marginalized group is oppressed, we are all oppressed. It might not be my particular group this month, but pretty soon you'll get around to my month, and then I'll be out there alone. And we can't do that. We have to understand that the basis for all of these protest movements is the lack of equal and fair treatment, and that's what it's all about. And that crosses every line that you can imagine, and puts it right where it should be.
One of the parts of the stories that makes it really interesting is that you not only narrate, but you share your personal experiences. For instance, with Martin Luther King Jr. and how you were opposed to the nonviolent movement and he changed your perspective. Your interactions with him shaped how you then saw the world. Tell me about that experience and maybe why it's been so important to acknowledge the people who have shaped how you've seen the world and how we've all seen the world.
Well, seeing your own people brutalized and denied justice, it makes you angry and you want to retaliate. And I felt that very strongly. I was a teenager, but I realized, after comparing what Malcolm X had to say, and he dealt with it very intelligently and succinctly, and what Martin Luther King had to say, they basically were coming from the same viewpoint, just
Right.
a little bit more militantly stated by Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't go out in the streets and violently take what we want. That would never ever succeed. So he understood what Mr. Gandhi understood, that when you expose the bully and show him to be a blowhard and a coward, it denies him any legitimacy, and that's what worked for India. So Dr. King saw that it could work for Black Americans.
It wasn't easy, though. I mean, it wasn't easy for yourself personally. You boycotted the Olympic Games with the national team because you felt you couldn't represent a country that wouldn't represent you. You were in a position where you were criticized by the press, by many people who love the sport.
Well, Trevor, for me, it was an easy choice when it was time for me to go to the Olympics. At that time, the chairman of the American Olympic Committee was a person who, during the 1936 Olympics, told the Jewish athletes on the American Olympic team that they couldn't compete because it was going to anger Mr. Hitler. His name was Avery Brundage. And he was still the chairman of the Olympic Committee in 1968. And there was no way that I was going to be doing anything with Mr. Brundage, except paying him a wide berth and staying away from the Olympics, because people like that can't have your own best interests at heart.
What makes sports interesting is there are people who love you who may not agree with your points of view, but because of sport, you might be able to connect with them in a way that nobody else could from a differing point of view. So how have you found the ability and the moments to connect with people and to try maybe see each other's points of view a little bit better because of sports?
Sports really, when you understand through the great equalizer, sports makes us all humble human beings. When the people that we might not feel that good about can beat us in the 200 meters, well, all of a sudden it kind of affects your ideas about equality and all those things. But these are good things, and at these moments, bridges can be built. So that's the whole idea. Have the ability to communicate instead of making it be about anger. That's what I learned from the people that inspired me. Jackie Robinson, Phil Russell, Muhammad Ali. You can't go out here and change people's minds because you're angry, and your anger might be justified. But you have to take the time and respect the people whose minds you want to change. It takes patience and it takes determination, and that's what we have to have.
There's this constant argument in society where people say America is the way it always was, and there are others who say, no, it's much better and those days are over. So as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, how do you see this life that you've lived in this country?
Well, we can't eliminate the presence of setbacks and backsliding. That's part of the journey. So, we have made progress, but we still have a long way to go. And I'm hopeful. Last summer, after Mr. Floyd was murdered, a whole lot of Americans all of a sudden understood what Black Americans had been talking about for a long time. I think it was a moment where bridges were built and understanding was reached. And hopefully, we can have the political follow through to make a difference. So, we have to fight for these moments and take advantage of them when we can. And we don't always get there, but we have to fight the fight.
You got to fight the power, and there are many American heroes who've done just that, you being one of them, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the show. Congratulations on yet another success, and I hope as many people watch it as possible.
Oh, thank you so much, Trevor. All the best to you.